That's not a count. You said you'd count us in.
1, 2, 3, 4, go.
And welcome back to the Tingly Anus podcast. This is your loyal hosts, Sean and Trent here. And today we have our esteemed guest, Nick. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it usually is. The first time we have anyone on, the first 5 to 10 minutes is usually a bit weird, and then it just turns into a normal conversation.
Well, I think weird's my middle name, so
Well,
here we go.
Can you write that down to fact check that? Just later on.
The pen and paper is actually just to note stuff of importance down.
And so you're saying that's not important?
Exactly.
I'll take that.
I take offence to that. Today, there's no shortage of sponsors, but we're going to leave that for a bit later because we don't want to blow our budget off the bat.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder: if you have any questions or want to submit some fan art, just send them to tinglyanuspodcast@gmail.com.
Who did the last one? Who did the last one with the snakes?
The last artwork was done by my friend.
Do you want to give him a shout out?
Loyal viewer. His name is also coincidentally Nick. So just shout out to Nick. If you like reading things, he writes stories. They're on intothehollow.com. I think it's a .com. So check it out.
Yeah, let's kick into it. I don't know. Not much has happened for me over the last week. Like, in terms of... we haven't had that much feedback. For last week, we asked people to submit, like, if they needed any love advice or, like, life advice. Or
Well, I don't mean to be rude, but...
Hey.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. And you two aren't exactly the most eligible people to give that advice right now.
Hey, we are eligible, or have you know? We're
very, very, very eligible.
Eligible young men.
It's actually just today we were laughing about relationship stuff.
Yeah, going through
with
Ms. Chelsea's Tinder.
Yep.
Shout outs to all the weird guys that have zero concept of how to act socially and just turn into a fucking robot.
That's basically me on a date.
I was about to say, isn't that like a bot? Isn't that a thing?
Well, essentially.
This is an actual human who just has robotic level responses that isn't an engineering student.
So to paint some context, Chelsea was fiddling with a napkin and she says to the guy, like, I just, I always feel the need to just be like fiddling with shit in my hands. And the guy just offers his hand, like, across the table and goes, and just says, hand? Question mark? Like...
Yeah.
Well, it's better than penis? Question mark.
I mean...
I don't know if that would be in his vocabulary. The dude seemed pretty stunted.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not concerned about offending anyone out there because, like, come on, it's a pretty...
I know I've got a pretty wide reach from my understanding. You guys sold it to me pretty high.
Yeah, we do have international listeners, don't we?
We do. Listeners.
You're about to say
we
that.
have an international listener?
Yeah, no. We have international listeners, as in our listeners are in between multiple countries.
Yeah.
2 is a multiple.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's a stretch of water between us and one other country. Or another island, potentially.
We do have a subscriber from Denmark. Shout out to Christian.
Sounds like a lad.
He's a good dude. He can beat the shit out of basically everyone I know. And I know a lot of people who can fight. And this dude...
So if I had a brick, who do you think would win?
The brick.
Him. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
If I just threw it, like, straight up, I just throw a brick at him, would it stop him?
I'm pretty sure a brick would turn to powder.
Sounds like a viable source of income to me.
Like, his
yeah.
keys.
And his gaze,
Yeah,
holy shit, he can look at it.
He has to be really careful when he goes on the beach in case he stares at like a boulder and it collapses.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, how does he...
landslides.
How does he not... Like, if he's at the beach, yeah, just looking at the sand, just turn it to glass.
He actually has adopted an approach similar to the guy in X-Men. I don't know his name. Shout out to X-Men.
Cyclops.
Yep, where he has to wear fucking specially made sunglasses.
So he just looks like even more of a badass now.
Well, I mean, it would. If
Unless
the
it's like
sunglasses weren't a bit fucking retarded.
Unless it's not like the blind people sunglasses.
These are super thick because his power's that strong. It's not like
that would sound like blind person glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. So he'll fuck you up as long as he can get his glasses off in time. Fuck up your brick. He'll fuck up your other.
You're hyping this guy up a lot.
I mean, check him out. I'm pretty sure you can actually like YouTube search him, and he has fights in competition.
I'm not going to ask for his last name now. If you want to disclose that, go ahead.
I'm not going to. Just search out Christian and
Christian vaporizes bricks.
Christian fights.
Christian with a K.
We're going on a crusade, boys.
Holy shit. Just turns to some like parking lot in Midwest America. You get out of my church now, you hear? Like, just some real backwards ass. No, I'm sure he's a great fighter. How about you, Nick? You have any happenings of the last week?
Happenings over the last week. I've just had shitty customer service left, right and centre, and it's really getting on my nerves.
I mean, sorry, continue.
It's just, dumb stuff. Common sense, you would think, for customer service. But...
Did they forget your name? Or...
No, they gave us a tracking number that doesn't exist.
I've had that before. That's not very uncommon.
No, like, does not exist, and they claim they've shipped it, and every time we call them, they go, yes, it's shipped. And we call the freight company and go, hey, it's been a week and a half, you quoted 3 days, it's not here, and...
See, like, I get a tracking number not existing. If they've shipped it and they know what it's going to be, and it just hasn't been put into the system yet, that's fine. But, like, blatant lying, and that's what it is. I don't know, like, I'm sure there's some small claims court issue, there's some fair go. Do you hit up fair go?
Fucking
send
hit
an
up
email.
fair go.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Sainsbury? No, it's not Mark Sainsbury. Who is it? Phil someone?
I just know it's been the same dude for the last like 30 years with his fucking buzz cut and like glasses harassing people door to door being like, you haven't answered my question though. As he's like on their property.
Yeah.
Like hassling them between doors. Like, oh, the life.
Yeah. Fuck that. Anyway. So yeah, that's what's been happening in my life. Shitty customer service is getting on my nerves.
Didn't know Fair Go was still a thing.
It really is.
Really?
It's been on the ads when we're in the gym. Like it's watching the TV.
Sorry, I get really absorbed in the same 15 minutes of news repeated.
Oh, don't even get me started about the fucking news.
Fucking ranted about it. Ranted.
Yeah, man. Like,
we discussed it in detail with emotion last week.
Fucking hate
with emotion. Holy shit.
Wait, we already covered this on the podcast.
We did.
Shit.
Yep.
Still awful.
That's
awful waste of like, is it taxpayer dollars? TVNZ. Yeah. That's taxpayer dollars.
No, it's potential
government funded.
No, it's not. It might be through New Zealand On Air. I'm not sure.
I think that'll be the one. New Zealand On Air.
So that is taxpayer dosh.
But then whatever TVNZ chooses to do with that, I mean,
yeah.
Which it just makes me even more suspicious.
TVNZ used to be our government, but I don't know if it is anymore.
So I'm concerned.
Got privatised.
Yeah, they'd be pushing an agenda because it seems like journalism has faded away from being like, fuck, actually there was a quote to that. It's like, if the product is free, you are the product.
Yeah, it was in regards to the old Zuckerberg scenario and all Congress over there. It's an interesting point, considering how many free services we use. I mean, I for one know the Google stuff. It's just huge, and everyone I know uses it.
Google's an issue. I like that's something I'm even scared to think about because I know they are. I know their motto is "Don't be evil," but
What a fucking motto.
I know. With the whole expansion of their like...
That's like labelling a bomb will not explode.
Yeah, like what fucking claymores point away from face. Just like... but after they did the parent company expansion to, what is it, Alphabet? Yeah. And then the shady companies that they've acquired that are like ex-DARPA projects for like Sonic Engineering and... fuck that. Yeah, it is Sonic Engineering where they're like acquired technology which can tune into the frequency of like organs and of human like parts of the human body. And like, what is Google doing with this technology? Why is it underneath like, I think it's called literally Google X, or like X is the letter they put it under for all their dark shit.
That's right. They own Boston Dynamics, the robotics company that does those really cool walking robots. And
that's terrifying.
That's fucking cool, but terrifying.
Would be dope to have like a mini Spot, but with a better version of Alexa or Google Assistant.
Oh, I don't think that's where it's going.
Like,
100% where it's going.
Of like being in a workshop, or voice recognition, and then being like, "Can you grab me a spanner?"
Yeah,
like that'd be sick, but also very Black Mirror-esque.
Yeah.
Like,
you heard about the latest Alexa bug where it starts laughing?
No.
Oh, no, it's probably a month old now, but bit behind the times here. But there's a bunch of videos online where Alexa would just start laughing at random times in the night, and Amazon had to come out and release a bug fix.
What the fuck?
That's
like literally creepy laughter, like could be pitch black, just like in the kitchen you just hear laughter, and it, like
that's cool. That's so cool.
Somewhere Jeff Bezos was just sitting in his fucking leather chair, spinning around, just being like, with a monitor of how many are going off at once. Because dude seems like
a sociopath.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you get that high up the chain, and we saw it with the Zuck, that like that's become so detached from reality. And I'm convinced Bezos is just trying to have an international empire of like. Amazon's started to expand into everything now. Almost no website is hosted other than on AWS. Like, the monopoly that he's got there is insane.
I find it interesting as well. There's I think it's 14 commandments of working at Amazon, and apparently he's an absolute slave driver. Like, you do not want to work at Amazon for the attitude of the tech staff and the sort of amount of work you're expected to do, and the...
Well, it seems very akin to like the Google culture of you're not expected to work 60 hours, but that's what everyone is doing because that's how you get ahead.
It's the same thing as in like with a workshop. That's like a small scale. Everyone works 60 to 80 hour weeks just to get stuff done in time. Which
is why they provide so many amenities to their staff of like paying for food. If you move overseas to work with Weta, you get like a 3-month subsidy. Of like, they'll pay for all of your accommodation. It's weird who came to view this flat who like just flew out from like Sansheng, China, and barely spoke a lick of English, but was like, he's been given like 60 days of money he just sends the receipt, and then Weta covers his food, covers his accommodation while he gets settled.
To be fair, smaller companies do that as well. Like, I know a couple of companies in Auckland were offering 20 grand to move to Auckland for grad engineers. Yeah.
Did Gareth get?
Gareth got
relocation?
8k or something like that, which he just used to build a gaming PC because he had mates up there. But
that's enough to get like $100 flight, and then ship the rest of your stuff up.
I think he went for dual 1080s. Just balls to the wall sort of setup.
What a casual. Christ.
It's the goal. It's the end goal.
I mean, shit, that's my rationalization has always been, is whatever student debt I come out with, if my starting salary is higher than the debt, that's a win. Like, and that doesn't work for everyone. That like, I've got friends which changed their degree like halfway through, and did like 2 years of commerce and decided it wasn't for them. Now they're doing architecture, and I'm like, you're really just signing yourself up for some pain. But I think I'm probably going to come out with like 60 or 70k, and then starting master's grad starting salary was like between, or at least on New Zealand,
57 up more than that. I'd be surprised if you got less than 57. But
yeah, no, there's a Glassdoor type website which goes through and aggregates like starting positions for, I think, just a normal base honours engineer is between like 50 to 70 at the top end, and then masters is like upper 50s, lower 80s.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Depending on how great you are. And that's New Zealand, so we don't actually have that much of a need for like...
great engineers.
No.
I'm pretty fucking great. I reckon I could 100k easy.
I know a couple of people who've just finished their masters went to Sydney, and one of them started on 120 Oz. And that's just eye-watering, because at that rate you're expected to be brilliant.
That's the fear, right? Is you
And sure, this guy's pretty good, but without being offensive, he's not brilliant, and he knows he's not brilliant, and he was nervous about it.
There's a lot riding on that line of like, if it's your first job as well, I'd be more than happy to take take it down to 80 or 90 and be like, hey,
yeah, I'll work towards that.
Yeah, let that be the upper margin at like, say, the end of 12 months. We reevaluate at the end of every 3 months. Reevaluate, because that's a lot of pressure.
Yep. When you're earning 10k a month, pre-tax,
you're probably not going to have the time to spend it with what they're expecting you to do.
There's always a way.
I
could spend
the T.A.P. load up like fucking 10k.
8 ball of coke and 2 very expensive hookers.
You just need one night off a week, one night off a month, and you're good.
I think you'd need more than a night. I think you'd need like Friday night and Saturday, Sunday to recover.
So yeah, with the amount of fucking like Adderall or Ritalin that you'd be popping just to stay awake to get it done.
10k. That's easy. That's easy to burn through 10k a month.
Oh,
I reckon. 100%.
If you're pulling like 60 to 80 hour weeks.
Yeah. You could still...
Other than accommodation. Like, if you could live in some swanky ass fucking place, but...
I would just like upgrade the food that I eat. Like, I would never cook anything in my entire life ever again. Everything would be express delivered to either my door, or I would go to a restaurant and eat 7 nights a week, plus 7 lunch meals.
I'm just wondering, is 10k enough to get like a personal chef?
10k a month. That is
for what? For like to get just someone, not all of the time. You're not paying they're not just you, but like
you're not getting a
to make meals. Yeah, if like for 3 hours they made 3 hours a day, they'd make like your lunch and your dinner, and then you just reheat it. And because it's so well made, I'm sure someone, because chefs don't usually work in the morning. They start.
Remember, this is pre-tax. Before we get all carried away.
All right, let's minus half of it.
Before we get carried away in our dream scenarios. I was going to say, like, most chefs start at 11 a.m., 12 p.m. You get like 4 hours to prep all your shit.
You just immediately invest half of your money into something, and then all of a sudden you've only got half of it left.
The way to think about it, pre-tax, I just crunched the numbers. I did it on a calculator because I'm not a nerd. It's $330 a day. Now, when you put it like that, it's not actually a lot.
No, it's really not.
But
so you get
current me trying to spend $330 a day. If I'm spending 12 hours working,
so you get 2 delivered meals. They're going to be $30-40 each. It's $80 off. So you've got quick math.
$240.
Here we go. $240 left. Okay, so some of that needs to go towards rent. Say you're going to be living in somewhere like Sydney, so you're probably going to be paying close to $300 a week. So
that's cheap.
300 Australian.
Yeah, Oz. So we're going to talk in Oz money here. So like $300 a week. So what?
I was going to say, if you're living on your own.
If I was making $300 a day, I would like rent a whole house for myself. I wouldn't fly with people because people.
See, this is a difference of fucking opinions. I would like not a house to myself, just an apartment.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what I'm thinking.
See, I'd get somewhere where I could have like a workshop and stuff, and I'd still live with people because it's nice to live with people. Go out and shit talk in the fucking corridor.
Studio apartment type thing.
I want the workshop. Gotta have the workshop.
Especially if you're working like 12 12 plus hours a day.
Yeah, that's true.
To have people just around, as much as you want your alone time. Like if I'm at work, I'm spending 12 hours literally like in my own space with no one around me. I would want to interact with people when I come home.
What kind of job are we talking? Are we talking like...
Yeah, what was the dude doing? Is this just a master's?
He's contract design engineer in electronics. So, well, not contract. Okay. He works for a contracting company.
Yeah.
So it is teamwork, it's coordination and stuff like that. And that was a junior role as well. He went into a junior role at 120.
That's pretty good.
I think that's the end game, isn't it? It's just to end up in a managerial position of.
So he's definitely not manager. He's still in the nitty gritty of the work.
Yeah.
But he gets to make his own design decisions and he gets to direct products and things like that. And instead of product direction, which is quite cool. Which is why it pays so much, is because he's expected to operate independently, although within a team.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a good place to end up.
Yeah. I'm jealous. I wanted that job. This is nowhere in here that does it.
Just leave this country.
Well, just leave everything that you know and love behind. Just...
Can't say this, but the temptation is unreal.
No, believe me, like after like the spending the last 2 years considering all decisions that I make and where I end up being part of someone else's plan, just from like my own thing to now, I'm like, what do I want? What
Freedom!
Plan was the States and then visit Europe, or Europe and then visit the States and like working visa or whatever. And I'm pretty sure that's still the plan. Is just end up in like Germany and get some mad mechatronic or mechanical engineering job in Germany, because that's some bleeding edge shit right there.
Germany, eh?
Yep.
The masters of overbuilt.
No one suspects a thing. They wouldn't try a third time. I can go fit in. I can go fit in, alright? Like, blue eyes, 6'2". Let's go, Master Race boys.
That's staying in.
Yep.
Global domination, one neighborhood at a time.
Trent's beliefs do not reflect the beliefs of Tingling Hands podcast. Please don't let that jeopardize our sponsors. We are a wholesome and community-loving podcast.
You say that, but I was doing research the other day, and I could marry into the Rothschild family pretty happily. The family that owns literally everything that ever existed since the beginning of banks.
That would be kind of nice. How does this plan? Do you know there's like some ugly?
Do you know one? Have you got her on Tinder or something?
Is there like an ugly niece you have to hit up, or is this like your first or second cousin?
Is this sort of like a Shrek scenario, like?
Yeah. If so,
if it was my first or second cousin, I wouldn't fucking be here.
Well,
you'd be off in bed or something. I don't know. Like.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a Shrek type scenario, I want to bang the dragon. I want to chalk that up on a list.
She is a bit of a dragon.
Who is this? What?
I don't know, man. Is
this just a theory? Like,
no, I reckon there'll be one out there.
There's always
one.
What is it? 80% or 90% of businesses that are inherited by family fail by the third generation.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact for you.
It's interesting, eh?
The granddad who put in all the work and founded it and made it work and died a fucking billionaire passes it on to his incompetent son that's never had to work a day in his life but saw his dad work and his dad tried to teach him, then passes it on to his son or daughter, which has only seen his dad never work.
Yeah.
And then it goes bankrupt because they don't know how to not spend money. Grandpappy would be rolling in his fucking grave.
Yeah. That must mean I'm set then, because my parents didn't get bankrolled. So,
I reckon farms are slightly different.
Yeah. If you want to live on the same bit of property for the rest of like 80 years of your life, then I guess you're set.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
I like interaction with the real world and not being a backwards ass. No offense.
The look that was there, just beautiful moments here.
What kind of farmers do you know, man? Damn.
Come on, I'm from a town of 40,000 where every single girl I've met who I've told the name of the town is like, oh, that's like a farming community, right? And thinks it's like 500 people, and I show them the city, and they're like, what the fuck? Since when are all these people here? I thought this was just cow land.
It could be worse when I tell people where I'm from. They say, where's that? When I say that's the place that had the earthquake, they're like, oh, is it rebuilt yet, basically?
I mean, when you say that, I'm just like, Napier? Christchurch? Too soon?
The place with the flood? It's never too soon.
Oh, man. No, see, that's the thing. I tell people, and they're like, I tell people where I'm from. And I either get like a, oh, where's that? Or a, ooh.
I gave you the ooh.
Like yeah, like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I got out.
Like, are you patched right now?
Yeah, it's like, is it illegal for me to be patched right now? Do I have a tattoo on my face?
Like, meeting you, I think. It's a place that just didn't even exist.
I mean, that's fine.
What are you...
There's a timestamp.
For what?
The name of the town.
Ah, god damn it, man.
Got him. So there's just going to be a fat blank. I have it on Matt's one as well. But Matt just turns out to be like, so I'm just from I was born in a small town called Beep, and then raised in a town called Beep. That's fucking great. Like, it's just that like CIA level censorship where more of the document is black.
Yeah, what you guys can't see is we're just wearing black bands over our eyes as well.
I don't even know what Sean looks like.
If you donate $150...
Sean will send nudes.
No, to sponsor us. We can get a webcam and you can finally see what we look like.
Yes.
In some kind of resolution.
Whether that's motivation or not, or whether the mystery is preferred. But how much was it, that, like 2 or 3 podcasts ago, for you to shit on the White House lawn?
$100,000 I will fly to America. I will shit on the White House lawn. I don't give a fuck. Alright?
Was it $50 and I'll send a letter to anyone they want?
Yep.
Of any content?
Yep.
As long as it's not bordering on illegal or will get me arrested for like child pornography?
How do you send someone a letter that is child pornography?
If I send like
the
a
urge
letter...
to say something incredibly savage is almost overwhelming, but I'm going to contain it.
Go on.
Let's just send them a photo of your ex.
Ha.
Oh!
Except she's 22, so...
See, it's the looks that... if I send a letter to the White House saying, like... Because it's content of whatever the person wanted. If I send a letter to the White House being like, hi... they've told me what to write, but I'm just saying, hi, I'm deeply disturbed. I keep a catalogue of like 3 terabytes of child pornography on my hard drive at this address. There's a decent chance I'm going to be fucking picked up by Interpol. I don't know.
Not if you give them the wrong address. And they don't know where we live. Because we beeped that shit out.
Yeah.
Flaw in your plan. We can only get other people arrested for child pornography that they didn't have.
Or... any of you listeners out there, we can get people you want arrested if you know their address.
Are we going to go around swatting people now?
Money. Well, no cases of it happening in New Zealand yet. Of the fucking ATF being called in.
So emphasis on yet. That might change. And when is this coming out?
Yeah, how long did it take to edit?
Later this afternoon. This afternoon being
like
Tuesday. Tuesday.
In the future, somewhere.
I just need to consult my phone.
Tuesday of the future.
Tuesday the 17th of April is probably when this is coming out this afternoon.
This podcast goes out like in about 30 minutes after we record it.
Every
Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Sometimes we record on Mondays, so they go out on Mondays at like 7 a.m.
Just early morning podcast before we hit the gym.
We're that dedicated. Speaking of the gym, if you guys don't have wrist straps and like doing deadlifts, get some wrist straps, so you can lift more and stop being small, like Trent.
Yep. This is my goal. And we are so close to Sean being off his animal pump pills.
I'm off them. They would have passed out of my system now.
Are they a diuretic? Maybe.
You don't know what my bathroom movements have been today.
Oh, dude. I don't want to know.
Are you sure? Because I catalogued them.
That's why he's got that extra roll of toilet paper. It's just a log.
Just the rest of the page is him.
I was just going to say, like, if you just have a toilet roll, that you just, like, roll it out a little, right, more, roll it back up. Yeah, so we're actually going to get a test of each other's strength, I guess. I feel like you got me beat for deads and squats. But
bench press.
Just everywhere.
Except
everywhere, I guess.
Everything except overhead press, because I still can't lift anything for shit.
And I will be able to pick you up soon. Fuck,
you wish.
Are you just going to put on a shit ton of weight?
You know it.
Get some fucking... I go on a cut while you go on a bulk, and then we meet again in 3 months.
I'm just going to, like, start getting some, like, ankle weights, and every couple of days just, like, add another set to my legs until I'm basically covered in weight.
Till you're pretty much, Rock Lee? Naruto?
I was thinking becoming, like, the Marshmallow Man, but instead of being marshmallows, it's just excess weight.
You know, when they say, like, when you put on...
You mean the Michelin Man?
I don't know. I just have a picture of a marshmallow with legs in my mind, and that's what I want to become. I think it might be a Ghostbusters thing, but I'm not sure because I haven't seen Ghostbusters.
That's the Michelin Man. No,
is it?
No,
Michelin
that's
Man's
Stay Puffed is Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Michelin Man's the dude made of the white tires.
Yeah,
it's outside like car shop.
I wasn't thinking
auto mechanics.
I wasn't thinking of anything vehicle related.
Fuck, what? Where was I going with this? Yeah, you realise that like ankle weights and weights doesn't just mean putting on fat, right? Because it just sounds like your goal is like, I'm going to add weight to myself to train, and you really just mean you're going to get hells 7 nights a week instead of like 3.
I haven't had hells in a while, thank you very much.
Have you met Harrison?
I mean, that's a 50-50 that it's either one of our boxes.
It's both of our boxes, and that was because you messaged me saying, what are you doing for dinner? Let's get pizza.
Hey, it was a rough week, alright? Like, as for Harrison, when do we have him on here? I'm sure, by the way, there's like a 5-minute segment in each podcast where we discuss the next person we're going to have on.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison's a constant topic of conversation because he keeps lying and saying he can't come to the gym when he's got the genetics for it. His brother can lift.
Yep.
Ergo, Harrison can lift.
His brother can also probably get out of bed on time.
Yep.
Just for those of you who don't know, Harrison might be mildly dependent on sleeping pills.
Mildly is very understated.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't have them, he only sleeps for like... It's either 0 or like 72 hours.
If he doesn't have enough of them, he sees life as a sine wave. And everything's just rippling.
If he has too much, he'll die. He's caught in a really awkward spot.
Between a rock and a hard place, so to speak.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing, is he would be a fucking rock if he went to the gym with us.
Yep. Just imagine his
I cannot imagine a shredded Harrison.
I'm just dumping his head on top of fucking like Eddie Hall or someone, and it just seems very...
Where is the shredded in that? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, shredded to me is when it looks like you have two 18-wheeler tires, like surgically injected into your stomach, and you just the ability to roll around. Like, I mean, I just can't imagine Harrison, The Rock Johnson, like.
No, I can't.
It's a novel thought to be...
It just seems weird. Like
Harrison on Kai Green's body.
That's the thing. It's like picturing every jacked dude that you see as just like a big body with like a tiny head, like shooting out the top of it.
It's entertaining.
Dude,
yep.
I saw a music video the other day, and this dude had like a comically large head to the point where it looked like it was photoshopped onto his body. I don't understand what it was. It just looked like it was half of his torso size. It was like the opposite of body. He's like an anti-bodybuilder.
Is this a real person?
Yeah.
So he builds his head?
I don't know.
How do you...
He was...
You hang upside down for 16 hours a day.
He was rapping, so it probably works out as...
He's probably storing a lot of knowledge up there.
I wouldn't say so based on his lyrics.
Oh.
No offense to the dude. He's Canadian, so he's not going to do shit.
I thought you were trying to fucking... Are you talking about Drake?
No, this is some, some real, down under,
Australian?
Australian? Australian.
Australian?
Australian.
Australian?
Australian.
Australian? No, Canadian. Never mind. You said down under. I can't help but think of shrimps on the barbie. No, there's, what is it? That song where it's like, get back, you don't know me like that, where it's an animation of the dude having biceps which are the size of like 80 legs and just beating people
my
off
arms.
the street.
Just a dude with my arms.
Yeah, you're
around.
104-inch fucking biceps, like.
Just 100% arms. That's all we do in the gym. Every day is arm day. Skip legs.
Whoa, I mean, we can't have everyone on that, right?
I mean, we were talking about deadlifting earlier, so...
Do you always have, like, is that flux? Or, like, your night? But why?
Because I can't be bothered turning it on and off. So I just leave it on.
Do you not have set hours for it? Like, mine activates between 9 p.m. and 6
Probably
a.m.
could, but it's time. I don't have time at the moment, so...
For those of you who are like me and don't immediately know what that means, he's talking about his little screen thing. It changes like brightness or like intensity or like hue or some shit.
The blue light filter blocks the blue light.
That's the one.
There you go.
Because apparently blue light has a detrimental impact on your eyes after, like, what, within an hour or 2 hours of trying to go to sleep? Something like that.
Oh, you just man up.
Well, by man up, you mean, like, go to sleep after looking at a computer screen for ages and then wonder why you can't actually fall asleep for, like, an hour.
I fall asleep with my laptop on in front of me basically every night of the week. I don't have this problem.
Can I set a reminder for, like, 60 years to see if you're blind yet?
I'm just going to blame it on staring at that laser. I don't know if this was on the podcast. I don't think it was, but I worked in a clean room briefly, and we have a laser.
Briefly?
Briefly. There's a UV laser, 325 nanometers. That's pretty UV. And one day, I walked in there without safety glasses, and the laser was on. And now, every time I get a piece of dust in my eyes, I immediately think that I'm going blind because of the laser. And it like trips me out every fucking time.
Speaking of getting tripped out, not that you're probably not going to go blind. I'm like 80% certain, maybe. You bring me onto another, like, I was on a tangent and now I'm on another tangent which actually relates to what you were talking about. Don't be a simple way. The smell of mold, right? Because there was a bit of mold in my wardrobe before my ex-partner moved out, and always a contentious issue whether she just had too much clothes or whether the room was damp. Either way, we're talking about it. She was like, oh, you're inhaling, like, don't you know you're inhaling toxic chemicals or whatever, or like mold, and it's gonna cause you to die? And in my head I'm thinking of all the times that I've, like, actively inhaled melting solder and, like, melting plastic, melting electronics, and I'm just like, oh honey, like, if I'm gonna die, it isn't because of the mold, it's because there is, like, a decent level of, like, silver lining in my lungs, and my bronchioles just have, like, melted plastic in them. Like, have you ever been soldering something and accidentally hit some plastic?
Oh yeah.
And then, like, started crying because it's in your fucking eyes?
Yep.
And I'm just weeping, but I'm still going, and then I turn on the fan, and I'm like, this isn't helping at all. Like, if I die, it's nothing to do with any, like, anything that white housewives would be afraid of. It's some, like, of inhaled fucking arsenic. Like,
nothing like a bit of, boiling acid and, lead particles to make your lungs more efficient.
My granddad, 91 this year, spent 70 years in the sun being like a road manager for the Manawatu region. Fucking skin like a brown leather skin that's probably the same colour as my brown leather boots. That, like, has had like 7 or 8 fucking melanomas removed, and each time they've caught them, it's been like, oh, you have skin cancer. Let's fucking cut it out. Cuts it out. Oh, you're fine now. If he can survive with fucking soldering without, like, welding without a welding mask, fucking handling hydrochloric acid at 90% purity, which there's a 50-gallon drum of 90% purity hydrochloric acid, which I'm 100% sure is illegal. Just chilling at my granddad's house. He fucking chucked the lid of the chimney into the drum because he's like, oh, we got to get all the soot and shit off it. Dunk it in there for like 5 seconds, pull it out, shining copper from this black covered mess. And I'm like, all the warning labels on this have gone off. If you die and I don't come and get this barrel, someone's going to die. Someone's going to be like, what's in here? Touch it. There goes your hand. There goes your bones. Like,
maybe that's what he uses it for. Maybe he's a secret fucking hitman. Not much of a secret now.
That's the shit they throw on the fucking roads to be like, oh, let's break down all the tar and the gravel that we've used to unmake this road. Splash it all over everywhere. Breathe it in deep, boys. How are we alive? How did our ancestors get to this point by being fucking retards?
Oh, I'd say the opposite. They had more common sense than most people do today.
Yeah, the correlation of warning labels versus how often people need warning labels?
Yeah.
If you assume everything's going to try to kill you, you don't wait for a warning label.
It's valid.
It's fucking terrifying is what it is.
Speaking of warning labels, you know how many chemicals are in the clean room that I worked at that
7.
that don't have like proper warning labels, and it's just flasks of who knows what. It could be literally anything from like chlorine to
someone's Jack Daniels that they just keep it in there.
Yeah, honestly, could be someone's fucking
keeping that Cody so they can go to court later.
Yep, for when those days get just a little bit too hectic.
Could be some vodka, or it could be chloroform. You never know what you're gonna get.
So you gotta sniff it.
So roll of the dice.
It's like the old movie cocaine test. You've got to test cocaine by scrubbing it on your teeth.
Oh yeah. Do that with some hydrochloric acid.
This better not be dishwashing powder. What a perfect way to kill someone. Just some fucking powdered arsenic.
Yeah, it's coke. Snort it, bro.
Oh man.
You
know, speaking of arsenic, you can get like toxic levels of heavy metal inside your body from eating too much fish.
Yep. I did know that. It's tuna in particular.
Jamie did that to himself. Back in first year, he was having one of those 400-gram tins of tuna every day, and he gave himself fucking arsenic poisoning.
Yeah, it's arsenic and mercury, I think.
Yeah,
he went, heavy metals.
He went to the doctors, and he was like, because he started feeling sluggish and like was passing out occasionally, and like really fucked himself up. And the doctor was like, "Oh, what do you like?" Short of running his blood work, they were like, "What do you eat?" And he was like, "Oh, what's your meals every day?" And then he was like, "Yeah, 400 grams of tuna." And he's like, "Okay, so for the last 3 weeks, you've eaten like 7 kilos of tuna, where the recommended for like a month is less than 1 kilo."
Yeah, it's all...
You're going to kill yourself if you continue.
It's fish high up on the food chain that does it.
Eat all the little shit.
So like sharks are high in heavy metals as well.
Really?
Yep.
Then why is that... Do all of the little fish carry small amount, or like trace amounts of metals?
Yep.
And it just accumulates?
Yep.
And they have no way to digest or like deal
Well, because
with
it comes from plankton, which filters, right?
Right.
So they get the small stuff, and then the little fish eat the plankton, and the bigger fish eat the little fish, and and up we go the food chain.
True.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
How such a small thing can lead to big consequences for us humies.
There's fucking humies.
Yeah, man, it's not going to be much of a consequence later the way we're fishing out our waters.
Yeah, well.
There's actually not even a conspiracy theory, but like a legitimate theory that the reason for the increase in violence between like the 1950s to like the 1980s is based on the lead that was in the water in the US back with all of the old pipes and old systems back when they made the crossover from like, I can't remember what they used before lead, but from lead to copper, that because of the amount of lead in the system, it inhibits certain parts of the brain which deal with decision making and make you a lot more aggressive, violent, and like prone to making short-term decisions. And that's like why you look at the graph of crime and there's like a steady spike and then it levels off once they replaced the lead with copper.
Maybe.
It's fucking like terrifying, the just shit we don't know about, and like it could even be happening right now with stuff we don't know about. Scary.
I'm going to stand by Americans. We're just sick of their government shit. And then the government introduced drugs, and now they're all happy.
Yeah, the thing is, it wasn't that in the 60s and 70s they got rid of lead pipes. It was just that in the 70s, marijuana became way more available.
Yeah. People switched from crystal meth to marijuana.
What? Shout out to anyone out there addicted to crystal meth.
Yeah.
We're really pulling for you on the T.A.P.
Yeah. I feel like we need more sponsors for this week.
Shout out to its founders, the brewers.
Yeah, Founders. It's a classic brewery in Nelson. It's actually do some decent brews.
Are they independent or?
No, they probably won't be. Nothing's independent these days.
Not anymore.
Do you guys want another one?
If you've got another Founders, that was actually quite smooth, to be honest. So that's why they're our sponsor.
Yeah, if there's another soul going, shout outs to
Soul.
Des Soul.
Corona.
Hey, it's not Dropkick. They're both equally respectable in my eyes. The Cerveza Original de Mexico.
You guys can thank. I think Hamish left the Founders, and I don't know who left the other one.
That was pretty brutal. Like, it's a very nice brutally pipe. Also, yeah, this will be a test of the microphone because you said that it goes pretty decent distance, but
It should be able to pick up our conversation now.
I don't doubt it.
Shout out to Fresh Up, because I'm cutting down on my alcohol intake.
Is Fresh Up on the pipe? Is Fresh Up Coke? Yeah, I think Fresh Up's Coke.
Yeah, probably.
Frucor, actually. So,
Which is...
shout out to my ex.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
That's the first time I've properly said it since now everything is properly dealt with and it's all properly in the past.
Cheers to that.
I'd fucking clink yours, but yours is crystal glass.
Yep. Because I high roll even when drinking juice.
And you also like spending money on nice things.
I do.
I can't fault.
Yep.
Tell you what, you're going to hate me for this, but we had some of Carl's Delmore the other day, and we put it with ice cream. It was really good.
That sounds like really bad.
No, it was like a cocktail. It was,
Okay.
It was
Okay,
like,
yeah.
you know, it was like...
I'm just imagining you getting a shot glass and just pouring it over some ice cream.
No. We tried to make it a wee bit fancy, and frig, it was amazing. Like the smokiness and the bite of the alcohol versus the ice cream was just...
That's why you drink whiskey. It's perfect for all occasions. Literally every time. Want to get really hammered at Harrison's house? Drink some whiskey. Want to pass out on Nick's bathroom floor? Drink some whiskey. Want to have a casual evening? Just drink whiskey slower, I guess.
Don't drink too much whiskey.
Yeah. Want to spend $50 a night at Milk and Honey? Drink 5 whiskeys.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. Yep. It adds up pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
What does?
Drinking whiskies at the old Milk and Honey. How do we need a...
Nah.
Shout out to Milk and Honey for not sponsoring us, but still providing us with alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol is the team carry for this podcast, except for Sean.
Yep.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well with not drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Other than that one time you drank alcohol. But that was a limited amount.
That one time, last weekend,
That's alright.
I tried my hardest to not drink alcohol, and it ended up in a liquor store.
And like all good alcoholics, I don't quite know how I got there.
Oh, I know how I got there. I remember it quite vividly. Well, probably because I was sober.
We're saying we drove, didn't we?
Yep. And what a drive it was.
Oh, that's right. You had fucking Harrison playing with your ass.
I was playing with Harrison's ass.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. When I was doing...
So this was good that I scheduled the fucking location for Harrison turning out to be Harrison's bumhole, eh?
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is very convenient because it seems like you're already going.
It was very loose, I can tell you that.
Hey, where were you headed with that comment before? I guess I just fucked myself on that knowledge. Thanks.
I was going to say, yeah, I was doing my seatbelt and Harrison didn't tense his butt like I naturally do, so I was a little concerned. You know? if you're in the middle and someone reaches around there, you don't just like relax into it.
You never want to be
different
relaxed
strokes for different folks. I mean,
yeah, like I don't know how you guys approach reach arounds, but
why was that such a topic of conversation? Fucking last. Oh man.
the only nugget that stayed with me from last weekend is tie a knot around it and slam the door.
It's just such a.
This podcast has taken a turn.
Yeah, no, I mean,
expected as much.
I'm looking forward to having him as a guest. I'll put it that way. To get to the core of who Harrison is as a person. Take away the shit talking. Take away the self-deprecation.
Who's Harrison then?
That's what we're trying to find out.
We want to see like. There's a fucking mirror in front of him. Just be like, look at it. Who are you? Who is this? Exactly. Like, can we break him?
I don't know, man. His brother might get involved, and then we have trouble.
It's fucking. Actually, have you watched all of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Negative.
You really fucking should, because it's really fucking good. Just
beautiful rhyme there. I see you're practicing for when we get 500,000 likes. When we release that solo song.
Yeah, no, it's not a solo song. It's a solo LP. Like, we're doing a full-on...
Four songs, eh?
Yeah.
Alright.
We on a long play here, man. Like...
4 songs.
Yep. About 16 minutes all up. Fuck, we can just make it like a rap opera. And it just all builds into each other, you know? And like each track is related to they're not...
It's a continuum.
Yes. It tells a story.
I preferred my mental image of a rap opera where there was just like an opera singer rapping in that really high pitch, like drawn out words that still rhyme every like third or fourth word.
Would it be in Latin as well?
Probably.
Is Latin rhyming? I mean, I guarantee you if I search up Latin rhyming, it's going to come with fucking Enrique Iglesias because it's technically Spanish. Latin hip hop, US and Spanish speaking countries, and hey, there's Pitbull.
Oh, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. Rap album solo.
I think we need to pull in our guests as like doing a verse each.
Oh, features.
Yeah.
Yes. Chelsea can be the backing vocals. Well, no, actually, no, she can spit fire.
They get a verse. Every guest gets a verse.
So does Chelsea get 2 verses?
No, she gets 1. She's only one person. That's how people work, Trent.
0.5.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Each guest gets 1 verse. She is 1 guest. She appeared multiple times though, so I understand your confusion. I know addition is hard.
Numbers
sometimes.
are hard, alright?
Yeah.
Like,
Not the only thing.
Yep.
The key is making eye contact in that moment.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know the correct level of eye contact to make when I'm out on a date, or like
stare them down.
Stare them down.
And like wait for them to look away.
Yep.
And then when they look back, I'm still looking.
Yep.
Just maintain eye contact with their tits the whole time. It's guaranteed success.
It's just like, I mean, if they have words on their shirt, it works. Yeah, I'm just a real slow reader.
It's taken me 2 hours to read. Adidas.
Sponsored by Adidas.
Yeah. Cheers Adidas for my 6 shoes.
Eddie and Dassler, the 2 brothers, which another fun fact, they split, and the founder of Puma.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Fucking riveting stuff.
I know, right?
Child slave factories, huh?
It works. Give them that.
I realised when I was thinking Adidas for my shoes, I really should be thinking like the 14-year-old Taiwanese boy that's making them, but...
Shout out to Jerome. I couldn't think of a better name on the fly, alright? It's Jerome. He's probably gets bullied for that name.
Jerome, the little Asian boy.
Jerome probably sounded like he sort of grew up in Brooklyn or something like that, and he's migrated to China for a better life, and now he's working in the Adidas shoe factory.
Gotta make
Probably better than Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Probably a better Karate Kid story than the fucking Jaden Smith adaptation.
Oh, let's not talk about Jaden Smith. I want to maintain my long live.
He has rap songs. If he can do it.
Bruh! I have his album on Spotify, like Sire. It's actually pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
Are we just on this rap theme? Because I don't really want to discuss child labor.
Yep.
It's not something that I'm particularly
I don't
interested
want to think
in.
about children in labor or child labor.
In labour has multiple meanings for me.
You're not wrong.
Where are you going with this?
Are we going to come up with our own backing beats?
Mm-hmm. I could play that part. I have been known to make some music in the past.
Get on the decks.
Get on the decks, yeah.
Yeah, you did sound stuff.
Yeah, I've done a couple of composition courses at the old university.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fuck.
The more you know, man.
Yeah, shit, I didn't know that about you, Nick. That's pretty cool.
I used to drum as well.
Why am I doing my masters? Why aren't you?
Because,
Okay.
I got over hitting things.
You can never get over hitting things. That's why I fight for fun.
I can't get over hitting things because I haven't learned to love myself. Hitting is in smashing, is in pounding and taking a pound town, not like fucking. I don't beat things.
I didn't know what Trump was up
I
to.
said,
Domestic
like
violence.
beat that pussy up. Fucking no. What is it? There's the 3 forms of cardio that every man needs to be aware of. It's swimming in pussy, running through hose, and cycling steroids. Those are the only 3 forms of cardio I fucking need in my life.
And you're getting none of it.
Yeah. Oh!
The heartburn isn't visible, but boy do I feel it. Boy oh boy.
So what style of music do you do?
Whatever. I don't have any preference. I just make things. Really depends what the course requires.
We require 4 bangers.
4 bangers, eh? Are we talking on this
4 different styles.
4 different styles
Yep.
of? Are we? Because obviously we need to rap to it, so I can't go like.
Fucking bust out a country song and we'll make it work.
You could bust out some hard style, some fucking like 230 beats per minute, and I'll try to fucking like lick splickety on that dickety, like fucking hit that shit. Get some. I'll hit up my boy Twister with his
Did you just say lick splickety on that dickety? Did I catch that correctly?
Yep.
And that explains why he's not getting any.
This is Trent signing off. Just want to sign out from life real quick. Yeah, fuck man, whatever beat you want to make, like you want to.
I'll spit some fire for you. Well, I'd spit fire. I'll try fire.
Yeah, like even if it switches up the beat halfway through, and then we can have the rapper acknowledge that the beat has flipped.
My God, that's a unique concept.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. They'll never see it coming.
Oh man.
Would you change your voice for it and go like some real grunty, fucking, real throaty, you know?
I don't know, man. I've never made my own song before intentionally. I've been known to rap some freestyle while driving, but it's about as white as you can get. And I think I would like to change my persona for this. I think I could become like I don't know, we're somewhere cool.
You could call yourself Esquire because it's close to S square. Yeah? You could be ES, like ES square. Like Squire, but with an A instead. Yeah, S square. I'm coming up with names. I'm putting in work.
I'm coming up with an accent.
I mean,
Are you going to be like a British sort of like? Are you going to be from mumble rap through to like actual music? I don't know.
I would like to enunciate words correctly.
So you're a white rapper.
That's
Are you going to be like, like garage London grime through to...
I don't really listen to London rap, to be completely honest. The only London rap song I've heard is the guy who, what is it? Scring Diddly Bop?
Skrillex?
No,
Scring Diddly Bop. What the fuck am I meant to do with that, Sean?
like the
Stormzy?
The African American dude.
Skepta.
I don't know what the fuck.
Diddly Skepta.
The dude who became famous for that one song.
That's not me.
That's not you, you're right.
I feel like it's Skepta or Stormzy. Those are the two African American grime rappers.
He's not actually a rapper. He was apparently was something else. Everyone knows who he... The thing that Matt fell in love with.
Grime.
No. The one dude who does the Scring Diddly Bop.
Oh, Stormzy.
I'm sure, because Matt got real into some grime.
Yeah, Matt got real into Stormzy at one point, I remember.
The dude doesn't actually make songs. He did the one thing on the radio.
Are you talking about the guy that hosts rappers?
Look, I'm gonna take an interlude right now to... How do you spell Scring Diddly Bop?
Exactly how you say it?
Rapper... English. So what's your name?
Oh, Lil T, come on.
I'm about to say, that's a given.
Yeah, Lil T. That, like...
Alright, let's scroll through.
I mean, come on, I've already seen Stormzy and Skepta. Did you just rapper English? You might want to put British.
Oh, that's a better way of fucking... There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I
British.
see Tiny Temper in there. Some Labyrinth.
I was about to say, there is...
There's an earthquake up in here.
Yeah, no, who's bonkers? Dizzy Rascal. He's not really rap, though.
Rapper British Scring Diddly Bop. Alright.
Bo Diddly Bop, and there's a Italian looking motherfucker with a weird Popeye hat.
I don't know. I give up.
There's anyone out there that knows Scring Diddly Bop and can provide some...
It became really big, and it became like a meme thing. And I don't know.
You don't mean like Big Shaq. What's his name?
Does he go Scring Diddly Bop?
Yeah, he's talking about Big Shaq.
There you go.
Of all of the things I could have said, like skitty bop bop bop, or like
you think I actually know the words?
What's his name? Michael
Dapper.
Yeah.
Look up Michael Dapper and you'll...
As long as you guys know that it's a Scring Diddly Bop, dude.
Yep.
Diddly Bop.
Yeah, where he started and he was on, not on...
BBC Radio 1.
Yeah, Radio 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came in to deliver his rap because he felt like they weren't taking him seriously when...
And then he said Scring Diddly Bop and everyone laughed at him because he's a retarded.
Yeah. He did quick math as well.
It wasn't very quick.
No.
I could have done it faster.
2 times 9?
18.
That was pretty fast. I'll give you that one.
It's like, what's the square root of 1,002? As long as you say something, it doesn't have to be correct. It's just quick.
It's the confidence with which you say it. 19.5.
That's wrong. I can tell you that's wrong already.
Yep. Yeah, you're not wrong.
What's the square root of 133,225?
2.
No.
But it's quick.
The actual answer is 365. You're doing the math. I just know that was a fact.
Yep.
Yep.
Why do you know that?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
Why were you doing years squared? Days in a year squared.
Are you trying to work out how long you'd live for?
I actually don't know why I know it. I just do.
I love knowledge like that. It's great to have knowledge like that for scenarios like this where you just drop some knowledge bomb and someone's like, what the
365 cubed is 48,627,125. I just know that.
I'm concerned.
Sorry.
Settle down there, Morgan.
Yeah, like, is this some fucking Rain Man shit? Can I take you to a casino and have you win?
I will win once. I won't say I will win more than I started with, or how long that once will take. But I can win once.
After that, we'll just take your own back. Damn. Oh, goddamn. I suppose it's getting about that time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's feeling a bit like that time.
Time to
wrap this up. This is another episode of the Tingly Angus podcast coming at you live as of 30 minutes from now because of Sean, our fantastic editor, coming in with some fantastic editing skills and making this whole post-production thing look like a piece of piss.
Yep. Shout out to all of our sponsors.
Shout out to Sol, to Founders, to my ex. Shout outs to Fruitcore, to
Just Juice.
To Just Juice. Shout outs to Blue microphone manufacturers.
Nah, it's not what it.
It's not what it says.
Yeah.
Because that's logical.
It says Blue, but I don't think that's the brand.
Yes. No, I don't know. I'm talking shit.
I also don't know.
I think that's about it from us here.
Thank you to you guys for your continued support.
Thanks to Nick for coming along. Fucking clink you. That's some nice crystal.
Stay tuned.
Don't talk about the myth on here.
Stay tuned for next week where we have another different guest, hopefully. But who knows what the future holds?
Yeah, that's about it. Cut.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Yep.
Cut it.
We're cut.
Cut it.